Hey everyone, GeminiShadowCat here, and I'm doing another League of Legends champion review, this time for Bard, aka the Lost Studio Ghibli character. Wait, that isn't right. No Face, Dynasty Baymax, got it. Bard, aka the Wandering Caretaker. So, if you're hoping for a review that doesn't keep on referencing Studio Ghibli, then I'm sorry, but it's going to happen a lot. So, this Princess Mononoke Elder is actually a pretty cool character. For the first time in quite a while, League of Legends have actually created a character with only one set of abilities rather than two to toggle through. And it actually feels like a classic character too, which is great. The sounds Bard emits are peaceful, and there's some sense of fluidity to him as well that most champions lack. There are currently two skins for him, Elderwood Bard and Classic Bard. From what I know of, the animations don't change between them, but I haven't checked recall, so they may be different, correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, on to Bard's abilities. I'll start off with his passive, as I do with all my reviews. Traveller's Call is actually a very unique thing. It has two sides to it, one that involves collecting chimes and one that involves his meeps. Those cute little minion things Bard has. Chimes are found all across the map, marked with little yellow wisps. They spawn just about everywhere, in the jungle, which by the way you can use as an excuse to say that you're chime hunting, in lanes, bushes, and sometimes they even spawn in front of you. As you run through each one, you'll gain a little burst of speed, which can be stacked up to 5 times. This is actually a great way to chase your foes or get away from them. Bard's meeps grant Bard extra firepower. You launch those poor little things, I may have to start a meep awareness campaign, into minions and enemies, and depending on how many chimes you've collected, the meeps level up, gain an extra area damage, faster cooldowns, and can even duplicate. You may find that you're often checking the passive icon to see how many chimes you've collected and how many you need to level up your tiny friends. Bard's Q, Cosmic Binding, is a standard damage attack. Bard launches a celestial burst from his magical spirit trumpet, and depending on the enemy's surroundings, he either gives them a typical hit or stuns them and other champions and minions around them. Once again, this stun helps you to advance or escape. Bard's W, Caretaker Shrine, is what defines him as a support character. However, it's actually his weakest ability. Bard can place up to 3 stone discs, either around the area or straight onto wounded enemies, and even yourself. Just to let you know, the shrines don't act as trinkets, so any advancing enemy can still sneak up on you. These shrines can also be destroyed by other enemies. It also gives you a little burst of speed, so you know the drill, kill or survive. Magical Journey, Bard's E, is probably my favourite ability. This is actually quite unique and is one of the best things to use for Bard's new motto apparently, fight or flight. Bard is able to create a magical one-way portal across areas of the map. For the first time, you have to be aware of your surroundings and manipulate the environment to help play at your best. Or you can be like me, have no sense of what lies ahead. Seriously, make sure you know where you're blowing your trumpet towards, because you could make that situation 10 times worse. Also, not only can you and your teammates clear large sections of the jungle, I'm not even kidding, you travel the whole way of that thing, and it goes pretty high speed as well. You can clear walls and turrets, because why not? Finally, his R ability, Tempered Fate, or as I like to call it, Unwanted Zonya's Hourglass, freezes everything in the surrounding area. It puts a temporary, untargetable stop on both enemies and allies, minions, turrets, which is awesome by the way, and even yourself. Be sure not to make it a karmic thing and accidentally freeze yourself, unless you really have to in a life or death situation. Also, don't be a troll and get your allies killed. Just no. Once again, it's fight or flight. The ability is one of the greatest ones if you're in an open area, which brings me to this. Bard's Magical Journey is going to be useless on a route. Granted, he and his other allies can go through turrets, but there really is no point. As a support character, you can help sustain your teammates and send them on a whimsical journey across celestial planes, helping them out of sticky situations, etc. But as his healing ability kind of lacks, this kind of lets Bard down. Nonetheless, Bard is a late game character, and he can eventually trudge through the lanes by himself, but at a very slow pace. Regarding items, choose your typical support items and maybe a little bit of tanky stuff too. Overall, I think Bard's pretty cool. He's undoubtedly one of the sweetest looking champions, and I can't help but mention the awesomeness of his little meeps. I love his vibe and his chimey ways too. However, although his abilities are thought out carefully and are quite unique, they sort of lack the power and effectiveness when aiding allies in battle, or at least ones who want to stay and fight anyway. As I mentioned at the start, I like how original he feels too. Anyway, that's my opinion and I'd like to hear your feedback on Bard. But until then, I will see you in the future.